Take 2 tracks and call us in the morning. We got another podcast here. We got another podcast out here, another podcast episode. Gonna kick the tires on this bad boy, take it for a spin, check the levels, make sure everything's good, make sure that the fluids, the podcast fluids are at their appropriate levels. You gotta have your voice oil and your joke windshield cleaner and your bit radiator fluid. Those are the things that you have. Those are your much like the humors of old that they used to think that occupied the human body, that dictated the balance of a person. These are the 4 fluids that dictate a podcast. And a healthy podcast is what we're aiming for today here on Spin Doctors. I am your host, Rick Storer. My sound might be a little bit different today. I am using a slightly different microphone. You're going to have to deal with it. And, this is, you get what you pay for in podcasting. And you don't pay too much for this show. So, I don't know. The choice is yours. Listener, this is the Choose Your Own Adventure book of podcasting. So turn to page 52 if you're ready to continue with the show. All right, you're on page 52. Page 52 begins with introducing the co-host of this week's episode, every week's episode, except for that one time. What a weird time that was. Bringing to the show now, my co-host with the mo-host. Oh, yes, an old bit, resurging again. Nick Malizia. Hi, Nick.
Resurgence is key. I don't know. Hi, man.
It's the sequel to Bit 2, Resurgence. That's all you need. All you need is to make a sequel to a movie is to stick whatever the number is on it, and then a colon, and then some technical sounding word. Right. I mean, I guess the Fast and Furious franchise, oh my god, say that 10 times fast, has proven that you don't even need to do that. You just need to take the first letter and a number, and you can just be like, fuck it, we're F9, and that's our movie. Yeah. Come watch it, you pieces of shit.
Yeah, it's like the more movies they make, the less letters they use in them.
Maybe they run out. There's like a quota. They can only use so many of the letters. They're like, we've only got the F left, so...
Exactly.
I don't know. Let's figure it out. This week we have got a great guest. I'm very excited for this show. We're going to have a lot of fun on this episode. Coming to the show now is, he's not in LA right now, but he's generally the LA comedian. He's a podcaster. He's a good friend. Please welcome to the show, Bruce Gray.
Yeah.
What up, man?
Nothing. I was drinking some espresso and I started to choke on it a tiny bit, and then whenever you guys were doing the intro, I needed to cough, but I didn't want to sound like I was making you bring me on faster, so I was just sitting here exploding while you're just like F9 fast in the. I'm just like about to die. I just didn't want to be like,
I'm just flailing and you're choking away.
There is a guest here. There is somebody you brought on here to talk about something.
You seem to be doing an awful lot of bullshitting and not a lot of doing the show. How you been, man?
I'm very good, dude. I'm up here. I'm in the Pacific Northwest. I've been here almost a year. Getting ready to head
I thought
back
so.
to
I didn't.
LA.
I didn't want to dox you. I didn't want to be like,
please.
oh, he's up in...
Dox me.
Yeah.
I'm just outside of Portland, Oregon, just across the bridge in a little suburb called Vancouver, Washington, where the people are normal and the rent is cheap.
Yeah.
Vancouver, Washington. What a great motto for a place.
The people are normal and the rent is cheap. It's actually, I mean, normal is a stretch. It was shot. It's so funny, dude, because it's like I'm literally like my exit to get to my place is like the first exit off of the bridge from Portland. So it's like it takes me like 10 minutes to get into actual Portland, and it's like Vancouver is very Bakersfield-y.
Okay, yeah.
And it's just like just across the bridge is everyone where they're like, look at me, I'm the most interesting person from my high school. And it's like, and then you cross the bridge and everybody's just like, yeah, I take my gun to Subway.
Is there as much meth in Vancouver as there's in Bakersfield?
Oh yeah, dude. Copper thievery is at an all-time high.
Oh, great. The oldest profession. God, I really couldn't get that one out.
The oldest profession, stealing copper. There's prostitution and then there's stealing copper.
Yeah, copper was actually invented at the same time sex was.
Yeah. Copper is the first thing that was stolen before it was ever sold.
That was actually what was in the apple that Adam and Eve bit into.
It was a stolen copper.
That's a good way to break your teeth, though.
Yeah, I'm
Not
excited
fucking
to be
around with
here, dude. It's good to talk to you guys. You know, I love the Central Coast. Now look who's doxing who. Who's doxing who's doxing who? That's
my favorite John Travolta movie.
Yeah, dude. I'm feeling good. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
You know,
Not hurting. Just like physically feeling good.
oh, I'm good, dude. I'm fucking great.
Yeah.
It's been very hot here, which is
Oh yes, I know all about that.
real global warming.
Yeah, it's all over.
Hey, I don't mean to break the ice like the
Like the climate is doing.
I was gonna say literally, but boy, is it fucking hot.
How hot is it?
It's funny because whenever we first moved up here, we looked at a lot of places. We came up here for a couple of days to find some places, and like everywhere we went, we were trying to find air conditioning. And I think the people were just trying to get us to move in, but they were like, "Yo, you ain't gonna find no air conditioning. You ain't gonna need it up here." And literally, it's been like 115 for the past like 2 weeks. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Oh my god! You're like, I came up here for it to rain, not like
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and it's funny because same thing where it's like obviously it's really it was really nice for like the first 9 months. As far as weather goes, it's like nice. It does rain a lot, which is like an obvious thing where everyone's like, "Oh, it rains every day," and like people are all depressed, and you hear about that, and Kurt Cobain is sad and whatever, and
that's why it's a little known fact that's why he killed himself was because it was getting too fucking hot.
Yeah,
He's just like, I see where this is going.
Yeah. But it was like whenever we were first coming up, whenever it like first started raining, I was like, yeah, people, what, dude? Oh, you're sad because it's raining, and then it would rain every day for a month, and I would be like, dude, I might fucking kill myself.
I really get it.
Yeah, well, it's crazy, dude. Even like whenever it like first started getting like sunny, like whenever like spring was springing, the like people that were always kind of dicks were all of a sudden like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And I was like, "Where the fuck have you been for the last 6 months? You've been a real jerk."
Yeah, it's like their personality goes into hibernation mode.
Yeah, people are sad up here, dude. People, they're sad folks.
I mean, there's sad folks all over. I'm right here.
I could, Rick. I don't know if you know this, but I can see you, and so I know what's happening.
I'm just I woke up. My neck hurts today. I woke up. I think I slept wrong, and my neck is fucked up. And I've been trying to fix it, and it's just not working. What
have you been doing to fix it?
Trying
Moving
to crack
it different,
moving it wrong, like fucking
massage yourself, you goddamn adult.
Head banging.
Yeah. I try to push it in whichever direction hurts the most, and then I just push it further, and I go, this is probably what I'm supposed to be doing.
Oh man,
I just have like a bad. I think it all stems from I was in junior high school, and I was standing. We had a really tiny hill in the like playground area. I don't know if it's a playground in junior high school, but the
quad.
Yeah, the quad. That's what the cool kids call the playground.
Did you get tabletopped?
Yes.
Is that where the story is going, dude?
Yes. I got fucking tabletopped at the peak of this hill.
Dude, you think I don't know classic Central California bullying?
It is our move. We invented that.
Yeah, dude, the tabletop comes straight out of Central California, dude.
Yeah, it does. Yes. Destroyed my shit. Like, I remember just like getting. If you don't know what tabletopping is, it's when somebody gets on their knees and hands and knees behind you, and that you don't know about it, and you're standing there, and then somebody else comes and pushes you from the front. So
it's a two-man. It's a two-man project.
Yeah, it's like a bullying heist. And I got knocked
There's some
over.
Distraction involved.
Yeah, exactly. You get like a tiny Asian man to do some gymnastics.
Yeah, somebody to like pull out a bunch of cards and be like, exactly. Look at this, and you're like, holy shit.
and they take your watch at the same time.
Yeah,
Rick,
I haven't talked to you in a while. You've been in movies and television lately. Sorry to turn the interview on you, but what the hell? You're just not going to mention it? I'm watching everywhere I turn. There's Rick Story's face.
I'm around.
Yeah, what's going on, dude? You got some kind of bigwig Central Coast agent just killing it for you or what?
Yeah.
Or Nick, you do look kind of like most agents and managers in LA look exactly like Nick.
That's what he actually is. He looks like this. It's like a cosplay. It's like a dress for the job you want kind of thing.
Exactly.
He's my agent, and so
Yes.
the more the success I get, the more like I adorn him in agenty looking apparel.
Right.
So he like becomes the dream.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you're on fire, Rick.
Dude, I'm out here. I'm trying. You know, it is what it is. Hey,
you're being bashful, Nick.
You know, hey,
Rick, Nick and Rick. Jesus Christ, I didn't realize how hard this podcast.
Nick and Rick in the morning.
That's the hardest part.
Nick and Rick, yeah.
If we were a morning show, one of us like we couldn't just be Nick and Rick. We'd have to have like one shitty name, you know. One of us has to be like the shit weasel, or you know, fucking.
Why is it?
I don't want
for some reason.
No, I was gonna say I don't want to point fingers, but it would be called Nick and the Shit Weasel.
Hey
just
guys,
like
it's the shit weasel here.
Just like some sound effect before we bring Rick on, just like a. Uh-oh, here comes the shit weasel.
Like somebody
hey,
squeezing
guys.
a gerbil and it taking a shit and squeaking at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then you just tabletop the intern.
I'd watch that show. I would watch that show.
We used to tabletop the shit out of people.
Oh, so you would engage in this heinous act?
Oh, we would do it all. You never. I mean, where I come from, you gotta get
the mean
tabletop
streets
to
of Bakersfield.
You gotta get tabletop to give tabletop. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you live and die by the table,
dude. Anyone could get it.
Teachers, parents.
Oh, yeah, dude, I'll tabletop anybody, dude.
Were you avoiding
Teachers.
tabletops like you're avoiding COVID now?
Oh, dude, I would stand like in a Street Fighter stance at all times because I was like, I'm just always kind of bouncing back and forth.
Just bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, like you think you're gonna tabletop me, you got another thing coming.
Oh man,
I'm so
mean
stable.
streets.
That's why I'm so sturdy.
Yeah, you got to get like wider at the base. That's my whole thing. That's why I became fat. Is because I got tabletop one time and I was like never again.
Dude, yeah. Oh,
but the worst part was because it happened on a hill. So I was like at the top of this hill and I fell backwards and I didn't just land on my back. Like I fell entirely upside down and I landed on the back of my head and I just heard my neck go pop, 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 pop. And I like rolled over and I was like, am I alive? Does this? And I got up and I was like, I can still move. So I guess I'm bouncy.
Yeah, be like, you guys are such good friends.
I love that was so funny.
Yeah, because then after that would happen, you have to like be a good sport, like in the sense of like losing the big game. You have to be like, "Oh, you got me, guys. Good one. All right," and act like
the worst thing you could do is like
fine.
cry.
Yeah, you can't cry. You can't be like, "Fuck you guys, I hate you," because then everyone's like, "Oh, Rick's so sensitive."
Well, all we did was break Rick's L7, L9, and L10, and now he's being a little bitch, dude.
Dude, you act like you don't have so many more vertebrae. Come on, dude.
Yeah, we snapped Rick's spine, and he was a real weenie about it.
That's why we call him the shit weasel.
Yeah. Now we're gonna give him a front wedgie.
What did I do to you guys? Just the whole time.
I was never like aggressively I think it was actually some friends that did that to me.
Of course,
that's
dude,
how I'm
yeah.
remembering it.
Yeah, you didn't do it. That's
you hurt
okay,
the ones
dude.
you love.
Exactly. When like I keep saying where I come from, but we never really got into like extensive bullying of like lame kids. It was like, yeah, that guy's our friend. Let's beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah, exactly. I used to do like backyard wrestling with my friends, and we would just fuck each other's entire days up.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, Rick's our good friend. Let's throw him on a bunch of thumbtacks and see what happens.
Let's break every part of his body and see if he still says ha 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 afterwards.
Yeah, dude, it'll be fine.
Yeah, that's. I think there should be a show where you just watch children bully each other. Because there's nothing, because like kids suck, and as an adult you can't like do anything to them. So just to watch them like kick the shit out of each other, because they never like, I don't know, maybe this is dark.
So let me get this straight, Rick. You want to start a show where you have kids fight each other and then air it on television.
Yeah, I guess I'm saying we should do the Hunger Games.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm totally on board with that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking for a new show to watch. Like I've run out.
And like, let's have it. Let's mix the like the schoolness and the fighting, and like let's have them like make their own weapon before the fight. Like that's the fight is them crafting the weapon using all their crafting skills, and then they fight.
I get the welding kids really have an advantage.
See?
Yeah, dude, the ROTC kids. No,
Yeah.
what is it called? ROTCs, that's military. Did you guys have that in your school where kids would
Well, those kids have the biggest advantage.
Where they came to
in
school
the
in a
fight
tank.
show.
You guys have this shit?
Yeah, well, in high school, there was this thing where, like, a lot of kids would leave, like, halfway through the day and go to this, like, other place to learn how to, like, fix cars or weld or something.
Yeah.
And it's funny because now, all those kids are doing great. And everyone else that I know is overdosing on fentanyl.
Shit on them. Oh, you gonna go work on a car? You fucking...
Oh, yeah, okay. And now they're all doing good.
I'm gonna
holding
stay
out
here at
6 figure.
Ceramics 3.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah. I'm gonna be a teacher's aide for another semester.
Yeah.
Grade other students' papers.
An office
have fun
assistant.
welding.
When they'll pick up the attendance sheets from each class.
I did welding, but my teacher was a dick. Like, so the entire... He would give you a test, right? So the first half of the school year was him teaching you whatever. You never actually got to weld. He was just like teaching you how. And then in the middle of the year,
He's like standing behind you with his hands on your hips. He's like, "Here's how you do it."
Yeah, he'd reach around. He'd breathe in your ear very softly and gently as he held your wrist. He'd be like, "Oh,
The
no,
Ghost soundtrack is on.
slower.
This guy sounds pretty cool.
It's all in the hips." And so then in the middle of the school year, you'd have to take a test on everything that you had learned. And you had to ace the test 100%. But if you got any wrong, he wouldn't tell you what ones you got wrong. He would just be like, "Oh, yep," or how many you got wrong. He'd just be like, "Yep, you didn't get 100%. You have to try again tomorrow." And he'd literally do that every single day of class.
Interesting.
And some students would pass that test, and they'd be in the back welding, and he'd be back there with them. And so you would just be sitting in a classroom with like 16 other idiots who couldn't pass this test.
You're just watching like sparks fly and them having a great time, and you're just over in the other room just wishing you were there.
Your paper's just catching on fire. You're like, I can't finish the test. Everyone's welding my desk shut.
My pencil's welded to my desk.
my
Is this like
God.
acceptable?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
awful. But that was
Welding does look very cool.
it looks
definitely.
super cool.
I've never done it, but I grew up around a lot of welders.
Oh wow, humble brag.
If you could imagine, Bakersfield, a lot of people weld.
Yeah, it should be called Weldersfield.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, oh.
I say we end the podcast.
Good night,
right now,
everybody.
dude, 'cause
I mean, we're gonna top
going-
that.
We ain't topping that shit,
Nope.
dude. Yeah, dude. But people that I went to high school with, like, well, right out of high school, they would like start welding, and then they would get into like arguments on Facebook over like who's a better welder. And I was like, dude, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Look at those pearls, man. You ain't got nothing there.
Yeah, man, all your shit's crooked as fuck. That ain't even gonna pass inspection.
That's gonna crack in negative 150 degree weather. I bet you anything. All the times that your car is gonna be in negative 150 degree weather.
Dude, I remember one time in community college, this fucking kid. I obviously don't remember his name, but I remember wanting. I like almost left class because of this. Because this dude, I don't know if he had something going on with him. I don't know if he was all there or not, but he was in my class, which means no. And but he was just like a liar, like
Right,
obviously in like middle school, elementary school, high school, there was always liar kids who was like, "Oh, my dad is fucking is the biggest dick you ever saw." Like
My dad's Barack Obama.
Yeah, dude. Kids would be like, whenever we're in Bakersfield, people were like, "Dude, my dad killed a cop one time." It would be like, "No, he didn't. No, he didn't do that." And then, but this kid was in my class, and he was telling it was like 8 a.m., dude, and he was telling the teacher how he knows this guy who's an underwater welder, which is real.
It is real. Yeah.
It is pretty sick. I've watched some videos online whenever I've eaten too many edibles, and
I was gonna say, there's got to be some sort of influence that
dude,
you're under.
my YouTube shit is fucked up, dude. It's underwater welding. It's Iraqi drifting. I don't know if you guys ever got into Iraqi drifting.
Is that anything like Tokyo drifting?
Dude, I could talk about Iraqi drifting all day, but it's literally, dude, it's like dudes in like Iraq and Saudi Arabia in Toyota Corollas on the freeway doing the craziest maneuvers you ever saw in your life. Anyone who's listening, go right now and look up Iraqi drifting and have a great day. But
Yeah, shut this off now.
This dude's telling this story, and he's like, this guy I know who's an underwater welder, he got swallowed by a whale, but he still had his welder in his hand, so he cut his way out of the whale. And I wanted to stand up and be like, liar! He's lying. That
did
never
not
happened. Yeah.
That
It's
didn't
like-
happen.
I was literally just wanted to be like, dude, would you shut the fuck up? But part of me is like, keep talking so we can not learn anything.
Yeah. Yes. Like there's that thing where any distraction from the teacher, as annoying as it was going to be, any distraction from the lesson of the day, you're like, I'm on board. Like,
Oh, dude, I used to be so good at that shit. That was still my strategy in job interviews. Like even now, where it's like I don't like is to go to the job interview and just get as far off the topic of the job as possible, and it worked every single time. People would be like, "This guy's a pretty cool dude," which is also, I mean. Every job I've ever gotten fired from, which is multiple, every single one, they've been like, I mean, you're a cool guy. Like, we get along great. Like, we like having you around. I just got to let you go. And every time I'm like, yeah, dude, I fucking suck. Like, I'm awful at this shit. I even had, dude, whenever I first moved to LA, I had this job where I was like selling not moving supplies, but like hooking people up with like moving stuff online, like over the phone. And I was so terrible at it, but my boss was a really cool dude, and like we got along great. And he brought me into this conference room one day and was like, hey man, he was like, this is not working out at all. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, yeah. I was like, 1,000,000%. But he was a cool dude, and he liked stand up, and he was like, here's what I'm gonna do. He like closed the door. He's like, here's what I'm gonna do. He's like, I like you. You're a cool guy. Like he's like had been to a few shows. He's like, you're funny, whatever. He's like, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay you off, because that way you can get unemployment for a year. And I was like, hell yeah, dude, that's fucking sick. That's what's
awesome.
Up. Yeah, and he was like he was looking around. He's like, here's what I'm gonna do. He's like,
all right,
you're
guy,
a cool
don't tell
guy.
nobody.
Yeah. He's like, you're a cool guy. I feel like part of him was like, I'm in too deep here, man. I'm here forever. You got to get out of here, dude.
Exactly.
Get on to bigger, better things. Go on without me.
Dude, that place is a fucking nightmare, because like you would get calls from these people who were in dire straits. I would be like, I need to move now. Like, I swear to God, dude, I got calls one time from this lady, and it would come up as like Scientology something, and this lady would always talk to me in a very hushed tone. And I was like, and I told my boss, I'd like put her on hold. I'd be like, dude, this lady's trying to like escape Scientology. We got to help this lady. Like, I would be like, dude, we got to give her like the best possible. Like, we got to save this lady's life. And he'd be
We
like,
have
I
the
don't know,
equipment
man.
to move her out.
Yeah, he's like, dude, we got to make some money off it. I was like, dude, they're gonna cut her head off. Like, if we don't.
The thing I don't get is like, even by speaking in hushed tone, she's still receiving moving packaging. So like, she's like, don't let anybody know. And there's just boxes and rolls of bubble wrap showing up at the Scientology Center.
Well, we would send that shit, and like, what it was like. Here's what I was looking for. It's moving services. So like, you'd set people up with moving, and where like an 18-wheeler would come in and like bring their shit out. And,
okay.
What we were doing is like, there's two. I mean, this is getting deep into the.
We were
moving
kidnapping
services.
people, honestly.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yes, and it was human trafficking. I'm getting deep into the moving service game here, but there's two services where there's like Old Dominion, and then there's another one. And so what we would do is literally just like, we had some software where we would call these people, find out how much shit they wanted to move, punch it into the software. It would give us the prices for the two places that we were not affiliated to whatsoever. And then we'd like, let's say it was $500. We'd be like, yeah, it's $750. And then they'd be like, all right. And so then we're making a quick $250, and we're just sending these people we don't even know out there.
It's a brokering. It's like
it was
a
a fucking nightmare, dude. And like they had no idea. We'd be like, yeah, we work with these people all the time. And like, dude, we would like send these 18-wheeler trucks into the most hellish situations of like, I'd be on Google Earth and I would be going through shit like to look where their house is, like look at the route and be like, dude, there's no way an 18-wheeler is going to get in there. And my boss would just be like, send them. You got to send them in there. And I'm like, all right. And like they would call us and be like, this driver can't get in here. And I'd be like, I don't fucking know. I would just transfer them to death.
There's all these Iraqi people doing drifting and Camrys all of these. I can't get through.
Yeah. Like, oh no. It's like, I crossed wires. I sent him an Iraqi drifting guy instead of the moving guy. Like,
He's just out there in the desert fucking jackknifing.
He's ruining my lawn.
Best Uber ever.
Yeah.
Dude, Iraqi drifting is so sick. They're just like on the freeway. They're like drifting past school buses and like shooting guns out the window, dude. It's the fucking best shit ever.
That sounds like a football team, like the Iraqi drifters.
Yeah, Iraqi drifters, dude. You know what's so funny is I've been talking about Iraqi drifting for like 10 years and I've never met one person who's like, oh yeah, Iraqi drifting. Everybody is literally, I've told hundreds of people and they're always like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, that's pretty niche. Like, there's not a whole lot of...
These videos have a lot of views and it's no way, and like, I gotta go to some kind of convention where it's just like me and a bunch of
Join a Facebook group.
Yeah.
Iraqon.
Dude, I got added to a Facebook group called The Gray Family, which is my last name.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, it's probably 5,000 people. And I swear to God, it's 4,000. It's me, and then it's 4,999 middle-aged black folks. It's literally, so I'm in there, and these people are posting all these pictures like, this is my granddaddy, like Reginald Gray. And I'm just like, hell yeah, dude, what's up? Like, I'm just hoping there's a meetup one day so I can get in there and be like, what's up, y'all? How's it going?
And I'm
Just
Bruce.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's Bruce.
It's funny because I would so much rather go to that than like my high school reunion.
Right?
Oh, don't even get... I made the ultimate high school reunion mistake.
What, by going?
Oh, I wish that was it.
Worse.
What'd you do?
I performed stand-up at my high school reunion.
Oh my God, Rick. When was this? Was this before you were in movies and television?
This was before I was in movies and television.
Jesus.
Nope, it was
That's the only reason to go. The only reason to go to your high school reunion is if you were in movies and television. I've been in some movies and television, but I don't. All these people are fucking crushing it in welding. So what am I going to tell them?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude?
You can't fuck with them.
Holy shit! Rick.
You got all the ex-football players that are like that. They're always doing the best.
Jesus, Rick. Why did you do that?
I got asked to do it.
How long ago was this?
This was in 2017, my 10-year reunion.
Oh my God! And
Yeah.
Rick, I imagine you destroyed.
I destroyed my self-esteem.
Friendships.
Rick, that is the worst decision you've ever made.
You know, you're probably not wrong.
It's up there.
So I show up to the thing and everybody is already hammered because they had all hung out in the park beforehand and like
Good God.
Great high school reunion,
took
by
place
the
in
way.
a park. And
People's arms are all going the other way because they were tabletopping each other. The whole time.
Somebody got tabletop that day for sure.
oh yes,
I wish somebody would have tabletopped you on stage. That would be the ultimate.
I wish somebody had tabletop me off of that stage and I had fallen just
Down
far
a
enough, just a little bit further than I fell on that hill and just broke my fucking neck.
Yeah, or your neck just came back too, and you were like, "This was a sign." This all worked out in the end.
Oh, it was meant to be.
Well, when was the moment that you knew it wasn't going to go well, Rick?
When I got there. Like, so yeah, everybody had gotten drunk in the park and then they show up to the bar where I was performing and I had two people open for me and they actually had the better time because people were continuing to get drunk while they were performing. And then once the second guy got off stage, who was Michael Zaleski, then they were like too shithouse to even pay attention to anything. And I got on stage and it was just over. There was nothing I could do.
How much time do you have to do?
I did like a few minutes and I saw where it was going. And so I just started yelling at people.
Yo, Stacy, you fat as hell now. Yeah, That should have been the whole thing. You should have just roasted everybody.
That I should, if I had literally, I was only a year and a half or 2 years into comedy at that point, and so I did not have.
That's why you thought it would be a good idea.
Exactly. So I didn't.
You didn't have to tell me that.
I was like 13 years into comedy. I thought it would be like a learning experience. I was like, oh, I've performed all over the place. I performed with USO. Performed in fucking Democratic Republic of the Congo.
for a few unvisited tribes.
I performed at that football game that Bane blew up. Are you don't you do like a sports podcast, don't you, Bruce?
I do a sports podcast.
Yeah.
I sure do. Yeah, called Fat Jocks. Tune in. It's really fun. It's real good. People have been very nice about it. The blending of comedy and sports takes. It's mainly just me infuriating Brian Vokey to the point that he snaps, which I'm very good at. I know the exact buttons to push to make Brian go completely insane, and so that's just kind of what I try to do every week.
Yeah.
He's a huge Packers fan, so the entire
Oh.
I would just make up stories and be like, I just read that Aaron Rodgers is actually going to sign here. And he'd be like, it's not fucking true. Shut the fuck up. I don't know, dude. People are talking. I'm on this special website right now. He'd be like, send me the link. I'd be like, you got to pay per month.
Exactly.
It's
I'm not going to give you my password.
It's subscription based. I don't know what to tell you.
That's how it's got all the best news.
He's going to the Canadian League.
Free.
Dude, honestly, just because I've gotten deep into this world, the best sports news is on Black Sports Online.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Dude, BSO. That's where all the shit is. It's mostly like it's half true, but God, is it? It's very good. I recommend if you like sports, tune into Black Sports Online.
What is it?
It's just an online sports page to read sports news, and they have a sports podcast called Keep That Same Energy. So I really recommend Black Sports Online because that's kind of like what the podcast is. It's like I'm kind of the straight man of the whole thing, but like where I kind of bring most of the news and like all the stories and then kind of pitch them to Brian and he fucking freaks out about everything. So I'm deep in all kinds of sports like boards and stuff, and Black Sports Online is one of my favorite ones.
Nice.
All right, well, listen to Fat Jocks and go check out Black Sports Online.
BSO, baby.
We're going to take the first break of the show. When we get back, we're going to find out what album we're going to talk about on the episode. See you soon.
I saw this video of I don't know, I'm sure people are smart, but it was a video that they somehow changed the voice on a Buzz Lightyear toy, and so like he like was taking it back to the store, and like the Buzz Lightyear would say, "To infinity in your bitch ass mama's house."
Dude, do you remember that back in the day where like the squeeze, there was like a recall on like shit every couple years where it's like, this Squeeze Me Elmo toy is saying it's gonna have sex with your children.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna fuck you, kid.
Yeah, the Furby that like would praise Satan.
Yeah, the Furby is like, there is only one true God, and he is Satan.
They banned Furbies from the Oval Office because they thought that they were going to be used for like spy purposes.
And the Russians were like, "Fuck."
Yeah,
that would be so sick.
Thus be done, yeah, Furby.
Dude, this one kid I remember got in big trouble for bringing his Furby to school. And it wouldn't shut the hell up, and my teacher fucking snapped.
Oh, I bet.
Because he put it in his backpack, and the Furby's like, "Who turned out the lights?
Help me, I can't breathe."
Yeah, and then it's like 9/11 was an inside job. Like, what the fuck?
Feed me your blood so I can become you.
Yeah. I'm bloodthirsty.
So we tabletop that little motherfucker. We're back. Welcome back to the show. It is that time of the show, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to find out what the fuck we're talking about. As we do every week, we are bringing an album to the show to talk about the stories and memories surrounding and talk about all the songs. Going to be a great time. This week, Bruce is bringing the album. Bruce, what album have you brought for us?
What I've brought before you gentlemen today is the Harvest album by a young man named Neil Young.
There he is.
Which, it's pretty sad. It's one of the best albums of all time, but all the memories surrounding it are pretty dark, pretty sad. But in the email, Rick was like, we need personal memories to whatever album you pick. And I was like, dude, I was like racking my brain for like 2 weeks, and I was like, oh fuck. I was like, I'm like going through albums, and it's like every album that I would come through, I was like, all I could do is talk about how cool Garth Brooks is, or like, on this one, I could just talk about why the dude made this album. But then I remember this album played an important role in my life, and we'll talk about it. It really did.
Nice.
I love this album very much.
It's not often on the show, recently especially, that we get an album that I'm super familiar with. Like, all the guests have been bringing these random shit that I've never heard of before, so it's cool to get an album
Dark
that I'm
Side
like,
of the Moon.
Yeah, this weird band called like Red Floyd or something. I don't know.
Red Fred, damn it, Pink Floyd! You missed
Fred.
You missed a fucking chance, Pink Floyd, with Red Fred.
They could have been something.
Rick, Red Floyd seems like it would be your cowboy name.
Red Floyd.
Like, that Red Floyd is coming to town. Oh, everybody hide your women.
Wah, 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 wah. I stumble into town.
Yeah, you fall down and drop your gun.
Oh, fuck. Just shoots a random, like, horse sitting somewhere. Oh, no.
Your holster falls down with your pants.
Yeah, all my pants. Oh, no. Oh, shit, it's Red Fred. Oh, Red Floyd. Fuck, I fucked up my own thing. I don't even know my own name.
Classic Red Floyd.
Yeah. The most dangerous special needs cowboy in the West.
I just actually have a cap gun. Everybody just plays along and, like, falls over.
Yeah.
Your sheriff's badge is not real at all.
You come in, you barge into the sheriff's office. She's like, "Freeze, everybody!" Oh, dude, Rick, you're gonna get canceled for movies and television.
I'll never get on SNL.
My career's already over before it started. I did one Nickelodeon show, and now it's over.
What Nickelodeon show did you do?
Oh, just a little Dan Schneider vehicle called Game Shakers with my good friend and innocent man Dan Schneider. No, Dan Schneider.
Very innocent and not
a good guy.
No.
But,
Yeah.
Did he touch your feet?
He wanted to. No, I'm kidding. Dude, you know what's crazy is, honestly, I like went in there and then I like found out more about the show, and I was just like looking at the call sheet, and it was like directed by or created by Dan Schneider. And I was in the dressing room, I was like, oh, like my world started spinning, and I was like, oh no.
Are there cameras in here?
Yeah, I was like, I'm in the fucking belly of the beast, dude. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Good thing you can underwater weld.
Yeah, no, dude, yeah. I was like, I should have gone to fucking welding school.
Cut my way out of this whale.
Yeah, now I'm just fucking peeking around every corner for the fucking Schneid man.
The Schneid man. Snyder, no sniding.
Yeah, exactly.
That should be the verb for creeping. It's like how Toobin, like Jeffrey Toobin, masturbated on that video call. So now, like, if you jerk off on a Zoom, that's called Toobin.
No, I didn't know that, but that's hilarious.
I mean, I call it that.
Oh yeah, dude. My friends were going to the lake the other day. They're like, "You want to come out on the lake and go tubing?" And I was like, "I know this old trick."
What, do you guys have like a hot spot out there or something?
Hey, you going out to the lake to masturbate on camera? I don't think so, you fucking creeps.
Do that on shore like a normal person. Take this shit out on international waters? I don't think so.
Hell yeah, dude.
So, Neil Young, when is the first time you ever heard of Neil Young?
The first time I heard of Neil Young was probably when I was a kid, but I didn't really get into Neil Young until I was probably like 20 or 21.
Mm.
Probably,
yeah, that makes
maybe
sense.
19 or 20.
Yeah.
Starting just smoking mad reefer. And this guy gets it.
He gets
He knows
it, man.
what's up. I feel like Neil Young was one of the original like emo artists.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I mean this album specifically is fucking unreal. You know what's cool though is the Harvest album, it's like I mean, it's probably the most popular Neil Young album. It's like that's where like a lot of the great songs are. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Neil Young album. My favorite Neil Young album is actually On the Beach, lesser known, but it kicks
deep
ass.
cut. Okay,
I recommend everybody check out On the Beach. Neil Young, fucking unbelievable.
I feel like everybody has a Neil Young album, like big Neil Young fans. Yeah. It's just so cool because he's like one of those artists that like. I feel if you had like a group of like 100 Neil Young fans, everybody has like a different favorite album.
Yeah. On the Beach fucking rocks. It's only like 6 songs, but it's cool. You know what's cool about On the Beach is there's a song Walk On the Beach, and it's so I mean we'll talk about it more in this, but on this album he has the Alabama song where he's basically kind of just shitting on Alabama, which I don't know if you know this, that in Sweet Home Alabama there's an entire verse directed at Neil Young. Yeah. It's literally a Neil Young diss track.
Boom. Yeah.
And Sweet Home Alabama, which a lot of people don't realize, is that literally there's an entire quarter of the song Sweet Home Alabama, one of the most popular songs ever recorded, probably, that's just being like, fuck Neil Young.
Yeah, it's like the Southern man doesn't need him anyhow or something like that.
Heard old Neil put her down.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't need him around. But in Walk On, he's like, people bring up my name and pass it around, but it's basically being like, walk on, like, get out of here, you fucking Leonard Skinner.
But apparently they're still like cool with each other. They're like wear each other's shirts on stage.
Yeah, dude, it's Jay-Z and Nas, dude. They
a few years. Good comparison. Yeah.
There's also only like one guy left in Leonard Skinner. Because it's funny because I was in Fort Worth last month, and Leonard Skinner was actually playing, and I was like, that's not worth going to, right? And I called Brian Vokey, he's more versed in music, he knows a lot of shit, and I called him. I was like, hey man, it ain't worth it going to see Leonard, is it? Like, it ain't really worth it. He's like, nah, man. He was like, they're on like their 4th iteration of the band. Like, the only person that's left is like the guitar tech.
Yeah, just Leonard. It's just Leonard left.
Yeah, it's just like all there is like the dude who used to tune the guitars, and then it's a bunch of other dudes.
They just use the same microphone. They're like, yep, same band.
So Sadly, don't travel on the same plane anymore.
No, I didn't go see him. No, I just got drunk instead.
Oh, I mean, same thing.
Yeah. If you just get drunk and sing Leonard Skinner karaoke,
just listen to the actual album and it was the real band. A lot better than the concert.
Sounded better.
But I do really like this album a lot. It's very good. But what's cool is what I really recommend, because this album, I have it right here. I wrote it down. So Neil Young, born in 1945. This album came out in 1972. So he's what, 27? I think he's 26 at the time this album came out. He wrote these songs when he was 24, and there's a really good video online that I've seen it a million times. There's a few good ones. There's a James Taylor one also that it's like a live at BBC concert series. It's fucking unbelievable. The Neil Young one and the James Taylor one are really good. But in the Neil Young one, on it, he's like playing all the songs from this album, and he literally keeps apologizing because he's like, yeah, sorry, I'm playing all these new songs. It's just, I just finished writing these songs. And there's even literally he's like, sorry that I'm playing this new song, but I hope you guys like it. And then he plays like Old Man, which is like one of the best songs. Like he literally
keeps standard now.
Yeah, he like keeps apologizing and then playing like one of the best songs ever written that nobody has ever heard before. But it's like, it's funny because you'll hear it if you listen to that BBC version of the whole thing, where like there's certain songs where like over entire lines he'll just be like, ooh, because he just doesn't even have the song fully written yet. And it's just like, but that shit's good. That's fucking unbelievable. And the James Taylor one is good because if you know anything about James Taylor, he was viciously addicted to heroin. And in that James Taylor one, you could just tell he's being hilarious, but you could just tell how fucking smacked he is on heroin the entire time. And it's beautiful, and it's like so fucking good, and he's so funny, and it's just like he's just smacked on heroin. So I definitely recommend everybody watch the James Taylor and Neil Young BBC YouTubes.
Nice.
Yeah, I know.
So Iraqi Drifting and then Neil Young on BBC.
in that order.
Yeah. It's a nice.
Honestly,
nice
you can turn Iraqi Drifting on silent and then put the Neil Young BBC next to it.
Oh yeah,
it actually lines up.
Yeah, it's like a Pink Floyd, Alice in Wonderland situation.
Yeah. They actually line up perfectly. Like,
Every time he says I'm sorry, it's when they cut someone off.
Like as soon as there's a car crash, is the needle of damage done? It's like immediately.
Yeah, dude, they're perfect. But I mean, this really is a perfect album, and it's sad. So I mean, I'll just give you some backstory to what this album. Truthfully, I don't want to bring the mood down. So whenever I was 20, I think I was 20 whenever I really got into this album. And I was going through a vicious breakup. And I was also, so I started stand-up whenever I was like about to turn 19. And like, especially like, so whenever I graduated high school, I had moved to Santa Barbara for a year, Isla Vista, because I was like, I don't know what I want to do with my fucking life. Who fucking knows? I want to party. I know that. So then I went and I was partied my face off for like 9 months. And then I was like, this isn't it. Whenever I was there, I was like really getting into stand up and I like hadn't done it yet, but I was like, I think this is what I want to do. And like, I think this is something I'm really into. And so I moved back home. And so I was kind of like, if I'm going to do this, then I'm going to throw myself into it like completely and like literally like go unbelievably hard at doing stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, especially whenever I was living in Bakersfield, like, and especially like after a few years of doing it there, like 2 years, and I was just like going fucking everywhere because I was like, this is what I want to do. And if I want to do this, I know it's hard, so I have to. And I was like driving like 1,000 miles a week to
just
do
grinding away.
Just like even just to do like open mics. I was driving to like Ventura on a fucking Tuesday night to do 5 minutes, and I was like going to LA like 2 or 3 times a week just to do open mics. And I was like, I had the same mindset. I had the mindset in my head of like, just from listening to so many people talk about comedy, whatever, where I was like, I'm lucky, right? I was like, I suck right now. I know I suck. And I'm lucky that I'm 19. I'm lucky that I'm 19, 20. And what I need to do is do as much stand-up as possible and get all of the sucking out of the way as soon as possible.
I see, yeah.
And so, like, I'm lucky that I'm starting so early because I can suck for the next 5 years. And that'll still put me 5 years ahead of, not even like a competitive way, but it'll like put me like 5 years ahead of a lot of people who are starting and sucking then. And by then I'll have an idea of what I'm doing, basically. Right. And now I'm 10 years in and I have no clue what I'm doing. Maybe 9. I don't know. I've lost count. But I was like going through like this vicious breakup, you know, as this girl and I'm in love with her. And then she's just kind of losing it, whatever, and like going a little. She was very nice girl. She's not listening, but no, she was very cool. And then she just kind of started turning a little wacky, and I was like, "Fuck!" And I was like, "Oh, I could fix this. I could fix that. I can do this." And like, truly, it's like, especially doing stand up at that age, and it's like, especially like in Bakersfield, where it's like, it wasn't until like a little bit I had started that like more people, I guess, started doing it more that I like actually enjoyed hanging out with. So it was a very lonely endeavor of like, it was very singular where it's like, I don't even know anybody else who does this that lives nearby me. Like the only people I know that do this are people that I'm not even friends with that I see in passing, and I'm like, oh, how's it going?
Yeah.
Man? So I'm literally just like, I'm a very sad young man, and I'm just like, just beyond, like, I have friends and I have family and I have this, but it's like in the thing I'm doing, I'm just beyond lonely. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, there's
you don't really have any like support in that aspect. It's
no,
just like,
not at all. I don't have anybody to talk to
Yeah.
about this. And then even if there was like a few people in Bakersfield who did it that were like 40 plus, and it's like, they don't want to talk to me. I'm a fucking kid.
Yeah.
You know? And so I'm literally like, there's no open mics in Bakersfield. I'm literally going to karaoke nights and being like, hey, can I tell jokes instead of fucking sing songs? People are like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, all right, like whatever. Like, yeah, do however long however long a song would be, do that. Or I'd go to like trivia nights. And I'd be like, hey, on like your next break, could I tell a few jokes? And people were like, what?
What the hell are you talking about?
Like, and then most people were like, no, but some people were like, yeah, fuck it. Like, there was a lot of shit back in that day where I would like ask people stuff like that, and they would be so caught off guard that they would kind of be like, good for you.
Yeah.
And so they'd be like, yeah, do it. And then I would just go up and fucking bomb.
Right,
and like,
right.
So it was like that. There was like 1 or 2 music open mics, and like, there's this guy, Chris Carton, who hosted a music open mic at Bakersfield. He's a fucking cool ass dude. And like, until like, I mean, I'm like 18, 19, and he's like brokering deals with the venue to be like, he can like, dude, I got to know like I would hang out with these like huge bouncers in Bakersfield because I would have to just stand outside until it was my turn to go on.
Yeah.
And then I would go up and then leave. But it's like, I haven't seen this guy in forever. I would love to see him. His name was Angel, this big Mexican dude who worked at a place called On the Rocks. And it's like, he's like a 40-year-old Mexican dude. He's like 6'5", 300 pounds. He's just a huge bouncer. And
Angel's
he was just,
a perfect name for them.
Yeah.
I probably in total talked to that guy for 20 hours. I'm just like, I had the craziest, like deepest conversations with this dude who I truly had nothing in common then with, other than we were both had to stand there.
Yeah, you're just stuck in a location together.
Yeah, literally. And we'd be there, it'd be raining, and he would be like, come on under the awning, man, you're good. Like, it's literally, I'm like standing, like, it got dark, where I'm literally like standing in the rain, being like, this is what it's gotta be, you know?
Yeah.
I chose this life, and since it's hard, it must mean I'm doing it right, because it's supposed to be hard.
Yeah, and that's like one of those things too, where it's like, in the moment, I'm like, this is how it has to be. Like, comedy's hard. If I have it, I'm not gonna have it easy. I just have to do it 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's like one of those things where it's like, people talk a lot of shit, and especially in like LA, whatever, but it's like, if I ever do make anything out of myself, you know, it's like, I know specifically that nobody can be like, oh, he just fucking did this, because I've literally sat in the rain for hours with Angel in Bakersfield at On the Rocks, waiting for my turn to do 5 minutes.
Yeah, his are the only coattails you rode to stardom.
Yeah, dude, Angel, that's my guy. I have no clue where he's at. I don't even, if I saw him, I probably wouldn't even know. But
Cut to
knows?
20 years from now, Bruce Gray giving an acceptance speech at an award ceremony. And there's only one person I want to thank, and that's Angel.
Yeah, my guardian angel, dude.
Angel in the retirement home, tube in his nose, watching it on TV, one eye barely open.
My mijo.
Smiles and beep.
Yeah, so it's like the mixture of all that stuff, like when this album came to me, of like just fucking pure, like just defeat every night. Like going through this insane breakup of like, I mean, just crazy talk. I've told stories a million times, but of like just crazy like breakup, and me being like, oh, I have to save this. Like me helping check this girl into like a mental institution, her running away, me like chasing her down the street, and then like running into this yard where there's these like big industrial workers who like see me chasing some girl and like are about to like hit me with a wrench and shit. Like and then me being like, all right, well now I have to go to Orange County because I have to do 5 minutes of this fucking bullshit show. Like straight from here.
Oh my God.
Still grass stains on your knees and everything showing up, standing in the rain.
Yeah, dude.
So dating's weird, right?
Yeah.
So my girlfriend and I were on vacation.
This album, yeah. Great vacation. So this album hit me at a very nice time.
Yeah.
Like, really the perfect time.
Yeah. And have you ever seen Neil Young live?
I have not. I was going to go... There was a chance where I was going to go... I think it was 2 years ago, just like last minute, like a Neil Young and Crazy Horse thing. But I didn't end up going. So I have not. No.
Yeah. I saw him. I saw Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and him do some solo stuff at the Bridge School benefit that he does, or he used to do it every year. I saw that in like 2013. And yeah, it was great. It was a great show, and he came out and did a bunch of songs, and he played with other people. It was like the day after Lou Reed had died, so at the end of the show, like all the bands came out and played "Oh Sweet Nothing" together.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, it was like My Morning Jacket, Queens of the Stone Age, Elvis Costello, Neil Young, like a bunch of people were all played it. It was amazing.
Oh yeah.
And then the end of the night was Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and then we left because I was like, that's enough of this.
I've seen enough.
Yeah, I just Neil Young is way better than CSNY in my
I would agree.
Personal opinion.
Yeah. I mean, they got Ohio, but after that, it's too much.
Yeah. I mean, There's so many of them that are just dicks. I'm sure Neil Young isn't like the nicest guy in the world. He's just got to work with.
Everything I've ever heard of, I know multiple people who have met Neil Young in person and say he is a big time asshole.
When you're famous since you're fucking 20,
he's gone through shit, man. He deserves it.
And it's weird because it's like I've met, like, not like Neil Young before, but like I've met a lot of other celebrities, especially like working at the Comedy Store, and like. Nobody has ever been rude to me that are celebrities. Every celebrity I've met has been very nice. It's literally, it's always the people that are hanging out with them.
Oh, yeah.
That are the fucking worst.
That makes total sense because they have that like, oh, I'm famous by proxy or like I'm important by proxy.
Not at all. And it's just like, you don't fucking matter.
Yeah.
It's like, it's always been very crazy to me.
Have you ever had to like an especially terrible experience with one?
I'm at the Comedy Store. There's people like that all the time that are like friends of like people that are going up that night that are famous that are just like such dicks in the thing. Like I've had it before where like there's like rest in peace, Chris D'Elia. Some of his like friends came to the show and this guy was being like especially an asshole. And like we were all wanting to kick him out and we had to like go to management and be like, hey, we're about to kick out D'Elia's friend. This guy's being a piece of shit. And he's like, fuck. He's like, all right, man. Yeah, it's fine. And then by the time we went over to do it, the people that he was with at the table had kicked him out of their table.
Nice.
Because, and these like two, like, the most LA people you could ever imagine. These girls were like, his energy is just like way off. So we kicked him out of our table and he left. And we were like, fuck yeah.
He kept saying that we were too old for him. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, we're 15. But like I've had it before where like, because especially like whenever Dave Chappelle would do secret shows at the Comedy Store, it's like every celebrity you've ever imagined comes through there. And it's like, literally, like, even one time, like, because the parking lot there is so small and, like, nobody's allowed to park there unless you're, like, going up. And, like, this car, like, halfway pulled in and I was in the front and I, like, walked over to him and I was like, hey, what's going on? And it was this, like, girl driving the car. It was, like, this little, like, Audi SUV. And then she was like, oh, hey. And I was like, oh, hey, what's up? I was like, it's parking's only for the comedians. And then, like, in the passenger seat with, like, a hat pulled very low, Leonardo DiCaprio was like, hey, man, how's it going? And I was like, oh, what's up, man? I was like, it's going pretty good. And I was like, he's like, is it okay if we park back here? And I was like, yeah, go ahead. You guys
it's you, right? Like,
but it's like even like some of the most famous people on earth are still like, hey, is this okay if I go back here? I'm like, yeah. And then I had to be on the radio, like, and nobody believed me, obviously. But I was like, hey, this black Audi coming in is Leonardo DiCaprio. Literally on the radio.
Revenant incoming.
Yeah, on the radio, somebody back was like, dude, shut the fuck up. I was like, all right, you guys go on ahead.
All right, over and out.
But there was like another time where like. Robert Pattinson was there, and it's like same thing. He came with like 10 people. They were all fucking rude. He was super nice, where he was like, "Hey, mate," is like, "Could you show me where the bathroom is?" Like, and so I'm like walking him to the bathroom, and I have to like shoo away people are trying to be like, "Oh!" And then these like two girls who were probably like Victoria's Secret models came to the front and were like, "We're here to meet our friend." And I was like, okay, well, who's your friend? And they're like, well, we can't say. And I was like, I looked at them and I was like, I don't think you understand like how little I care. Yeah. I'm just telling you that there's like a lot of famous people there that night. And I was like, I'm telling you that I probably know where your friend is at and I could take you to your friend, but you kind of got to tell me who your friend is. And they're like, we're not going to tell you. And I was like, well, then it looks like we're at a standstill. And then they started making phone calls and no one was answering. And this girl came up and was like, it's Robert Pattinson. And I was literally, I looked at her and I said, was that so hard? And then she was like pissed at me. And so then I just took him to exactly where he was. And it's like, we could have cut out 15 minutes of nonsense, but you think that you're cool because you're with famous people.
Tried to big time me by not telling me the fucking...
I'm just doing my job.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't think you like understand how little I care.
I even like that guy. It's like, fine, whatever.
Dude, I don't know how long the podcast is supposed to be, but I could tell you another funny story.
I want another funny story.
Mm-hmm. This is like because I don't know, meeting celebrities is dumb, and it's like at this point I've done it enough that it fucking sucks, and I hate it, and like I hate all the people around them. But there was one time whenever I first started working at the Comedy Store that I was like, if you're working the back door, it's like a nightmare shift because you're there for 10 hours and you have to sit in one spot. And like it was cold out, and if you turn the heater on,
we're just gonna skip right over working the back door. That's fine.
Yeah, we're working the back door, buddy. And if you turn the heater on in the back, the light above you turns off because it's a fucking 100-year-old building. So it's like if the heater's on, the light turns off. So it's very dark back there. And I'm talking, like, I've been there for 8 hours. So is the dudes I'm working with. So we're back there, and the conversations go to the end of the earth because it's like we're in jail at this point. And they're like, yeah, my friend's mom had breast cancer, and she got her tits cut off. Medical term, and she got new tits put on, but she decided against putting nipples on her new tits. And so I was like, that ain't even a tit. And then I was just like, we're arguing, and we're like, yeah, man, like I was like, dude, if you see a titty with no nipple, that doesn't even count as seeing a titty, dude. That doesn't even matter. Like, what the hoodoo? That doesn't matter.
That's
and
just
then,
skin, dog.
I was like, yeah, that's what I was telling him. Like, we're literally 8 hours into this shift, so it's like my mind is fried. And then it's dark back there, and this dude comes up who's with a girl. He's wearing combat boots and jean shorts and a tank top. And so I'm like, but the way that they greeted this guy, where they're like, oh, what's up, man? Like, how you doing tonight? How's it going? Like, I just thought it was another comedian.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like talking to him, like, how's it going, dude? Like, what's going on tonight? Like, what are you doing? He's like, dude, I'm good. Like, how's it going with you guys? Like, we're good. And we were like in the middle of a conversation, and like, I was like halfway continuing the conversation, and like I can only see the side of this dude's head, and he was like, "Oh, what are you guys talking about?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're talking like, let's say somebody gets their tits cut off, gets new tits put on with no nipple, and then you see those tits. Does that even count as seeing a titty?" And then the dude turns to me, and it's Shia LaBeouf, and then he like gives me the craziest look anyone has ever given me in their life, and then he goes, yeah, I guess not, man. and then just walks inside. And then they were all like, why would you say that to him? I was like, why would you guys let me say that?
Yeah. You wouldn't be like, look, it's fucking Shia LaBeouf.
No. I was just like, oh, fuck. Oh, dude, no.
I'm never going to be on Even Stevens 2.
Yeah, I was like, dude, no, come on. I love that movie where you played the special needs guy on Disney Channel.
Holes.
Come on, man. Yeah, Holes. No. I don't remember what the movie was called, but it was him.
I
He was
remember what
playing
you're
something
talking about,
stupid.
yeah.
I think it was Bumblebee.
Yeah, a colorful mind or something.
That was absolutely worth it. I loved that. All right, we're going to take the second break, and when we come back, we are going to start going through these songs when we return on Spin Doctors.
I was just like, what can I talk about? What's an album that I could talk about? And also it makes me feel something. I was like this, because I was going through Garth Brooks albums, and all I was going to talk about is the Garth Brooks hate and how I have no room for it.
Oh, yeah.
No space for it because Garth Brooks fucking rocks.
I don't have any particular hatred for Garth Brooks. I just am not like, I don't listen to country.
Garth Brooks is the man.
That being said, we had somebody on the show do a Dixie Chicks album, and I was like, this album fucking rocks.
Oh, that shit slapped. Yeah.
Honestly, I've been to a lot of concerts. I've seen a lot of people. I was at Tom Petty's last concert. Like I've seen literally like so much music, so much comedy, every famous comedian, and by and far, not even a close second, third, fourth, fifth place is the Garth Brooks concert that I went to.
Yeah.
Where'd you see
Even
him?
if you don't, I saw him in Fresno, I think in 2016.
Cool.
Oh, that recently too. Wow.
Yeah, I recommend anybody. It's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, I saw him.
What's so good about it?
He rocks.
He does
it.
every single hit.
Oh.
He does plays for fucking 4 hours.
Yeah.
He's like fucking Trisha Yearwood comes out.
Mhm.
He has the stage he has like a huge catwalk that goes like halfway across the arena, and he crazy energy. Like it's just
and he's like
sweat,
60.
just soaked in sweat at the end of the show. I saw him in
Yeah.
Paso in like 2017 or something.
It's unbelievable.
He played 3 hours, and then because the concert sold out so quickly, of course, because it's the Brooks.
He sells out stadiums in 30 minutes.
Exactly. So he did another 3-hour show after that.
Dude, he's definitely ripping lines backstage and shit.
Oh, he's going off. He's going pure off the love of God and the vibe of music.
Also, I don't know if you've seen the Netflix documentary, but it's fucking dark, dude. There's a Garth Netflix documentary. He's psychotic. Like he's missing a piece of his he's missing a piece of his brain.
Yeah, like
for sure.
Oh, what's this called? Do you know? I gotta check this out.
I think it was on Netflix. It might have been
called
on
Chris Gains and Losses.
Yeah, dude, it's wild. But it's like also, I mean, I don't know if we're back recording or not, but he has this song called "We Are." Not what is the song called? Or "We Shall Be Free," which is like he wrote it in like 1995 about like people can do what they want and gay people can do this because his sister was a lesbian and was in his band forever and she died. But like he was playing the Rose Bowl halftime and he was like, I'm playing this song. Like kind of last minute, and they were like, "We can't have you playing a song about why gay marriage is good on national TV." He's like, "It was like 15 minutes before." He's like, "Oh, then I just won't play." Like it's fine. He's like, "It's totally." He's like, "It's totally cool." He's like, "I don't have to play." And they're like, "No," and it's like, dude, that's
awesome.
why when Garth Brooks was at the inauguration, a lot of people on Twitter were talking shit because they were just like, "Oh, this guy's a country guy, so that means he's this, this, and that." And it was very cool to see a lot of like gay, lesbian, trans people be like, "We will hear no Garth Brooks hate."
Oh fuck
like,
yeah!
Garth Brooks has been fighting for like gay rights for like 25 years.
That's awesome.
He's the fucking man.
Yeah.
He's the fucking man.
Oh yeah.
Damn, I need to listen to some Garth Brooks.
Dude, during the pandemic
I could talk Garth.
Oh yeah. And we're going to for a minute longer. During the pandemic, him and Trisha Yearwood did this like this show. They like live streamed from their house, and it was just them like playing songs and stuff. But it was just like beautiful. But like he's a phenomenal guitar player, and like it's just they're so sweet. They're just good people.
Dude, there's a reason he's the #1 solo touring artist of all time, dog.
Oh damn.
Game respects game.
Most diamond albums of all time, more than the Beatles.
Oh.
I could go, dude.
Wow. You know your shit.
Dude,
are you Garth Brooks?
I was gonna pick Garth Brooks, but I was like, I don't have anything to say that means a lot to me. I just have this shit about how cool Garth Brooks is.
I didn't know. I didn't know any of that stuff. I would have just pegged him as normal country guy, like, but I didn't know anything about the chicks either. And then I find out that like they're woke too.
Oh yeah, dude, they were shitting on George Bush. They got fucking blackballed.
Yeah,
yeah, dude. Dixie Chicks are dark. Did either of you guys get into the most recent Sturgill Simpson album?
Oh, I've been meaning to. The one with the him on the lawnmower.
Oh no! The
Fury?
That's actually more recent. The Sound and Fury one.
Yeah. Oh, I listened to it one time, but I wasn't in the right space, so I had to stop. But love Sturgill.
Did you have you fucked with that at all, Rick?
I have not.
You need to get in some Sturgill.
Rick, I don't know if this is more in your zone, but there's also an anime on Netflix that's set to that album.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is like Sturgill Simpson, he's a fucking G, but it's like he hates the Country Music Academy, and like they've always fucked with him, and so like in a bad way.
Yeah, I saw that like he was like boycotting them or something.
Yeah, he's refused nominations, and he's like busked outside of the thing instead, and like he does all kinds of shit. But he was just awesome. Like they would just put him in all these different boxes that he didn't like, and so this most recent album he made is like basically every song is different and like almost like a different genre, and it's all I don't know, it's all very I don't even know how to describe it, but the album itself is fucking incredible. It's just like it's like more it's kind of ZZ Top-ish, but with like noise machines and shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this shit. The first song on this album is called Out on the Weekend.
Okay. Can I tell you, before you play this, can I tell you something?
Absolutely.
This is the song that I think I resonated with the hardest, because it's like, I mean, you listen to the chorus and everything, because literally it's just like, I don't know. It's just literally, this is what hit me the hardest, because it's kind of what I was talking to you about, of like how lonely I felt in stand-up, and like how nobody else I knew was doing this, and I'm like, I am going to make this work one way or the other, kind of, but fucking hit it, Rick.
All right, this is Out on the Weekend. Classic Neil Young sound.
Yeah, dude. If you play this backward, he's worshiping the
666.
Dude, so just imagine me jamming in my Ford Fiesta after bombing at 5 open mics and fucking crying and be like, it's gonna work out, it's gonna work out.
This is part of it.
Crying the harmonica line. Neil Young has such a unique voice because you listen to it and you're like, oh, he doesn't have a good voice. But then you listen to it more, you're like, no, he does, and he can sing well.
Yeah.
And then you listen to it more, you're like, no, he can't sing. And then you listen to it more, you're like, no, wait, he's actually fantastic.
He's just feeling it.
Yeah, it's just such a weird voice.
Especially when you hear him talk.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, this part right here, this.
The woman I'm thinking of, she loved me all up, but I'm fucking bitch.
Not even old enough to drink in that car, just like sitting outside, just like sipping on a Capri Sun.
I hear her calling.
The chorus right here is what really got me. I was like, this is me.
See the lonely boy out on the weekend.
That's me. I'm that lonely boy.
Trying to make
Damn.
Just trying to fulfill as much of the criteria of the song as possible. It's like,
It's too much.
this is what I'm saying is Neil Young is the original emo.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's like, because it's like kind of the same thing where it's like whenever I had moved to Santa Barbara, it's like I partied so hard and like whatever and like had a great time that like by the time that I moved home, I was like, none of this, like all my friends are still like fucking partying, doing whatever. And I'm like, none of this is fulfilling in any way. Like none of this is as fun as what I've already done. So now I'm just like, I'm almost lucky in a way of getting that all out of my system, whatever that like to whenever I got to that point, I was like, I want to just dive 100% into this.
Yeah. I definitely, I had an early partying phase too. Like when I was in high school, all my friends were older than me. And so like I had 21-year-old friends, 23-year-old friends when I was like 16.
Oh, Jesus.
And so I would be hanging over at my buddy's house and he was my weed dealer, but then he also like sold everything else too. So that was the first time I ever did acid. You know, I was probably like 16, took like 9 hits of acid at this dude's house.
Hell yeah.
The fuck?
I mean, yeah, that was where I got, you know, there was one time where he got, for like 3 or 4 months, he was just consistently getting ecstasy. And so he just like was giving everybody ecstasy all the time. We're just like, okay.
That's a
It
good
was
so
sign.
cool. You're such a nice guy, Mr. D'Elia.
Yeah. What is that? You just want pictures of my feet? That's fine.
Drunk girls are like this, dude. But you know what I'm saying? Where it's like that song especially is just like, I don't know. This I hate when people are like, this fucking shit spoke to me, dude. But like this entire album really did. Just like the entire whirlwind of shit that I was going through at the exact moment.
There's those songs like this. This is a perfect example of that where, like I said, you are literally fulfilling the exact criteria of the song. Yeah. Where like it almost is like they wrote that song about you, and that's such a cheesy thing to say. Obviously,
no, 100%. No, I 100%. But
there's
like a lot of times that's like a forceful thing where it's literally a drunk girl at a bar, be like, "This song's about me."
Right, exactly.
And it's just fucking Best Friend by Doja Cat.
Yeah,
I have a best friend. Now we're getting into D'Elia's material. But yeah, like. Man, there's a song, there's a band called The Silver Jews who David Berman was the singer of the band, and he had a new band called Purple Mountains, and that band released one album like a month before he died, and he like committed suicide, and that album came out the week that I set off on a cross-country road trip by myself. Like, I drove all the way out east to, like, Louisiana, up north, up into Chicago, and back to California all by myself for, like, 3.5 weeks. And this song came out where, like, every word of the song was describing, there's a line that's like, mounting mileage on the dash, double darkness falling fast, I keep stressing, pressing on. And it's like that was exactly what I was doing. I was just driving and like stressing out about my life and about how everything was going, and just the mileage on the dash was going up, and I was just watching and it was about me.
I had that same kind of experience because last summer, just because everything was so fucked in LA, and like just in last July, we had spent the entire month in Montana, and like on the way out there, just randomly Rocky Mountain High came on.
Oh yeah.
By John Denver, and it's just like it's like he was born in the summer of his 27th year. I'm like, I'm 27. He's like going home to a place he's never been before, and I'm like, I'm going somewhere. And it's like over and over, and then he starts talking about Colorado, and I was like, God, you're 2 states.
I miss me.
I'm making a
just shouting Montana over it.
Yeah.
Montana high. All right. Track 2 on this album is the titular song.
Yeah, I would say these two are my favorite Neil Young songs. Probably my second favorite Neil Young song.
Oh yeah,
is Harvest.
Oh, nice. It's cool that he started the album with 2 of your favorite songs.
I know, and maybe that's why. But it's like even this song, same thing. Where it's like the girl that I was breaking up with, where I'm like she's doing whatever, and then like me and her mom are almost like teaming up to try to figure shit out, you know. So then,
I thought you were gonna say you and her mom were almost hooking up.
Oh, dude, that would be cool.
Yeah, why do you think she was so mad all the time?
Yeah, it'd be a lot cooler if I did.
This is Harvest.
Did I see you down in a young girl's town with your mother in so much pain?
That's me.
I was almost there at the top of the stairs with her screaming in the rain.
Yeah, Neil Young, he's got like a really specific style, but he also encompasses a lot of kind of different genres within that style.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, he's like his strength is obviously the songwriting. Like, you know, the musicianship is fine or whatever, but it's not, you know, insanely great.
Right.
But it's just the songwriting is that he writes those songs, that just, like you said, fucking resonate with you.
But it's also like what you'll realize in like the BBC video whenever you do, and whoever watches that, it's like this is a 24-year-old dude. Like you see how young he is, and it's just like Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's insane when you think about that. Like, I'm 32, and I feel so like I could never write something like this. And I've been through way much more. I don't know if that's grammatically correct. Life than
You've
than
lived
a
longer.
24-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
This song's cool too because there's not even a real chorus. It's just kind of like every now and then in the song he'll just repeat the same 3 lines.
Yeah, it's a good song. That is a good song.
Well, that's what's cool is like that Massey Hall one is perfect, or like the same thing with that that BBC one is where like he plays these songs that are like such downers, and then at the end he would always play that dance song. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
I mean, we could play it at the end. It's more of like an upbeat song where it's like dance, feel it all around you. It's like, but it's kind of like you have to, where like you bring everybody to this certain depth with these other songs. That it's like, all right, at the end I got to do something.
Yeah, you got to pick it back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen bands that when they play a live show, they'll come out and they'll play the encore, and the encore is like if you play an encore and it's a slow song that doesn't pick the energy back up, that night is ruined. I'm telling you, if at the end of the show that you don't have that big high energy thing, I've seen Fish probably 30 times. And the times that they end on a nice high energy thing, like I remember that show for a long time. The times where it's like, we'll play a ballad at the end. You're just like, okay, well,
Right.
You know what's funny is I've seen the total opposite work out is Aaron Lewis from Stained. You know what I'm talking about? He does country now, and it sucks. But the where at my old work in Bakersfield, there was like an 800-seat music theater steakhouse honky tonk thing. He played there, but his encore was him doing all the old Stained songs acoustic, and his voice and his like presence, whatever. He's unbelievable when it comes to like playing like acoustic shit. Like there's a lot of good acoustic shit of him online. But it's like he was crushing those so hard to a point. It's like I've never seen 800 former heroin addicts cry at the same time. You know? But he's I don't know. I don't. It's one of those things where like the songs are good, but it's like the everything around it is shitty.
Right.
Like of Stained, but it's
Mm-hmm.
There's a really good video of him playing. I can't remember whatever. I think it's that. It was one of the bigger songs, but he's like, it was like their biggest song in the '90s, which was
It's
actually
been a while.
Maybe
It's
or
been
like
a
so
while.
far. I think it is. It's been a while because it's. He's talking about it because he's like in the beginning of the thing. He's in the beginning of that track on like the acoustic version of it that he's like playing live somewhere. He's talking for like a few minutes. He's like, you know, I used to play these gigs. Used to play at this bar. It's like some shit bar. He's like, I'd sit in the corner from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. playing acoustic cover songs. I'd get paid like $30. And he was like, and every now and then I would try to throw in an original. And he was like, and that was always a good time for people to go to the bathroom, or just go smoke a cigarette. He's like, or just start a loud conversation. He's like, and this is one of those originals. He's like, and it actually ended up being like the most popular song played on rock radio in the 90s, like all this different shit. And then he plays one of those. So it's like, same thing where it's like dudes, I don't know, you don't realize how a lot of people cut their teeth in a certain way where it's like, but it's like dudes like that where it's like he would play for fucking 7 hours for $30 and then try to sneak in a song and people were like, this sucks, and then it's like, well, it actually became fucking huge, you know?
Yeah, so it looks like you suck.
You suck.
Fucking Kelly's getting up in the back and leaving during my set. Right when I try to play my song, I thought I was going to impress you. Track 3. Go away, you cat.
Is that what the song's called?
No, the song's called Go Away, You Cat. It's actually it's actually about that because with a cat comes a lot of like mess and hair being left places, cat food containers. So when you have a cat, a man needs a maid.
Fire. It was nice. It was nice to see you go full Cartman for a second, though. No, kitty. That's a bad kitty.
I'm just trying to eat my cheesy poofs and do my podcast.
My life is changing in so
Same thing though with this song.
I don't know who to trust.
Oh God.
I'm telling you, dude.
Oh God.
There's
It's
a
me.
battle running through
It me.
like a beggar
Forever, too.
from door to door.
Yeah.
I was thinking that
I don't think he plays the
maybe
piano,
I'd
does he?
made
Yes, he does in the BBC thing.
Oh really?
Wow.
He plays
Okay.
it pretty well.
Oh
Where it's
wow.
funny in the James Taylor one, he's not good at piano and he's on heroin, so he can't really keep up. He even says it. He's like, I learned 3 chords on this piano. It's so funny, dude.
a maid.
He just pulls a Tom Waits. He goes, "No, the piano's been on heroin, not me."
These are like 3 heavy tracks for
Yeah.
opening
Oh,
an album.
I'm a dark guy, dude.
I love it.
I'm just like pretty deep and mysterious.
I'm just thinking about listening to this like late at night after like you were saying like bombing and such a long drive home. And it's like, this is what you chose to listen to. Why would you do that to yourself?
Dude, I had to get deep in the depths.
Yeah,
Gotta swim in
because
it.
it had to be hard, Nick. You don't understand. It had to be hard.
I was born in the darkness.
Yeah. But it's like, honestly though, that's like what my thing was. I was like, this can't be easy.
Yeah.
This has to be hard. If it's not hard, it's not working.
Yeah, I totally understand
That's
exactly
totally real,
what
man.
you're saying.
Jesus.
Which I've told that to a lot of like younger comics, not like I'm anybody to be giving any kind of advice, but it's like this, if this is not going to be, it has to be hard.
Yeah.
Like it can't be easy. If it's easy, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And you're not going to learn anything.
Yeah, you don't get the formative experiences that you have to have in order to like none of the like great comics had that easy immediate rise.
No.
Mhm.
They all had to work for it.
Yeah.
We are on track 4. This is one of the like biggest Neil Young songs of all time. This is a single on the album. This is a fantastic song. I love this song.
Dude, that's what's so funny. Literally on that BBC one, there's like the string of like 8 or 9 minutes where he's like, "Yeah, sorry, I'm playing these new songs. Here's a few more new ones," and then he plays "Heart of Gold" and "Old Man."
Oh my god!
In a row, and people are like, "What the fuck?"
Well, I'm sorry, sorry, but I'll play this right now. It's "Heart of Gold."
Yeah, this is a good time to go to the bathroom or smoke a cigarette.
This is one of my originals. I'm gonna try to sneak in.
Yeah. See, this is where it picks up, and you're like, "I am a good guy."
Yeah.
I'm just out here trying to find someone else to be nice to me.
Yeah, because your sadness comes in waves, so you have that like super deep, and then you come back up. I do have a heart of gold.
That's good Neil Young there.
I wanna live, I wanna give. I've been a miner for
The first line is "I want to live," so that is like the good thing. You're like, I do. Okay, I do want to live. Pull me back up, Neil.
God, that slide guitar on all these songs too are just fucking.
I would say that's my favorite instrument is the slide.
God.
The slide guitar seems like it would be so easy to play, but it's so
it's
hard.
impossible. Dude, there's this girl I follow on TikTok who's just this hot blonde chick who fucking rips the slide guitar. I'm like, oh man,
This is incredible.
don't tempt me, you devil woman. The devil is working in mysterious ways.
Yeah, most guys get in trouble when like the Bust It Challenge audio comes up on their phone. You get in trouble when slide guitar pops up on your TikTok.
Boss it.
But Heart of Gold, so I mean, it's such a
classic.
beautiful song.
Yeah, it's
classic.
undeniable.
It is undeniable. And it is like that point that you were saying where like it picks you back up because it's been so heavy.
Which I imagine that's kind of on purpose, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that like he started off Out on the Weekend is it's a sad song, but it still has like it kind of goes. It has like the driving, it's got the percussion and everything. And then it just like goes to the depths of the dark night of the soul with A Man Needs a Maid, and it's like, all right, pick it back up. All right, we're going to take the last break of the show, and when we come back, we're going to finish out the album. When we return on Spin Doctors. Welcome back to the final part of the show. Are you ready for the country?
Yeah, whenever you guys are.
See, the kind of the pacing of this song is very similar to that On the Beach album, where it's more like... It's very similar to like this, where it's kind of more upbeat.
This is like Huey Lewis and the Blues.
There's like a little bit of electric guitar in it.
But this is like a very old sounding album.
Yeah.
With that like, almost ragtime piano.
Yeah.
And that chord progression, I've recognized that from so many different songs.
It's so many people doing Neil, you know what I'm saying?
This is at the point of driving back from Ventura to Bakersfield, where you're just like in the middle of absolutely nothing, and you are thanking God that like you actually have something to keep you awake.
Yeah. God, it's hard to say anything about it because it's just grooving. I mean, just like this whole album, it's just like you just have to like, drink it in and just almost like shut up and listen to it,
So this is one that like Are You Ready for the Country? I think is one that I never really knew about. Like I'm familiar with the album, like I've heard it, probably front to back before. But I'm mostly familiar with the bigger songs on it.
Of course, yeah. There's a lot of where these songs kind of just fill the album a little bit. In my opinion, like Man Needs a Maid, Ready for the Country, There's a World, and Words kind of just fill the album a little bit,
Yeah, definitely, because the other ones are so strong.
Yeah.
That,
And it's not like these ones aren't good. They just the other ones fill it so well.
Right. And you can't have 10 amazing songs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not at least not 10 10s in a row. Maybe a couple 9s in there.
The next song, The Old Man, which is it's very interesting that on the BBC one he talks about the song a little bit more, and then I've read more about it, that it's actually about, so whenever he bought his ranch, there's like a guy that like kind of came with the ranch, this old man who would like take care of the ranch and like do the fences and take care of the animals and whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently like him and Neil Young would like bump heads a little bit, because I think this old man was kind of like, I don't know who had the ranch before, but this old man was like, you're just fucking some young fucking rich kid, like rich hippie kid, fuck you, like whatever, like I don't care, like you're a fucking asshole, like you just bought this ranch, and you're just like some
you're
fucking,
like pretending to be a farmer.
yeah, just like some young hippie.
Mm-hmm.
But
so he just wrote the song as like a response to that.
Basically, yeah. And the thing, he's like in the BBC one, he's like, yeah, he doesn't really talk about like the bumping heads thing, but he's just like, yeah, this old man who takes care of old foreman on my ranch, who kind of takes care of everything. He's like, I wrote this song about him.
Wow. This is Old Man. This is my favorite song on the album.
This is the banger.
Yeah.
Yeah, right in the middle too.
Mm-hmm. It's like you gotta get
that
through
second side.
Yeah. I think it is, the start of the second side too. Or maybe it's the last song on the first side of the record. I always thought that this song was him like talking to himself later in life.
Yeah, I always thought it was like something like, yeah, like that. I also always think of this song because I first heard it, I feel, or like it's like kind of like really like paid attention to it in the Lords of Dogtown movie. If you ever seen it, there's that scene where he's shaving his head, and this song plays, and it's just like, I remember seeing that, I was like, fuck, this song's heavy with like what's going on, like just like a great matchup.
Yeah, this is one of those songs where you age out of it, like, because it's 24 and there's so much more, and you get to like 26, 27, you're like, oh god, how much more really is there? And then you get to 32 and you're like, oh god, I basically, like...
Yeah, now I'm the old man.
Mm-hmm. With that banjo in the background, too, just... Such a good song.
God.
That chorus is so classic and so iconic.
I feel like the banjo player feels like he's just ripping it too. Like after they're done with the take, he's just like looking around. He's like, well, anyone?
He's like, Deliverance Part 2, right? I just delivered you to salvation with my banjo. My banjo of holiness. +1. This is another one that I'm not very familiar with.
I'm also in the same boat where it's like, this is probably the least... This and Words are like the two on the album that I really don't know much about, that I've probably found myself skipping over a lot just because I haven't... the other ones are just such bangers.
Mm-hmm. I've said this before on the show, but like, it's kind of this show is fun in that you're forced to go through every song, and so you go to these songs that you had and historically skipped before and haven't listened to, so it's almost like you get to like listen to new old songs. This is There's a World.
Oh yeah,
this sounds like it's from a musical.
Jeez,
it starts really big.
I think he worked with like the London Symphony Orchestra on this album or something.
This is like a full.
Yeah, this song always felt like a little just didn't belong on it or something, or just maybe didn't need the symphony or something. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking, Neil.
It feels like it's from a musical, right?
It totally does. Like his voice, it's almost like kind of jarring. Like when his voice comes in, when the symphony's already going, it's like like some type of opera singer. He's like, "There's a voice."
Look around you, prisoner 24601. I am Rum Tum Tugger. I am a curious cat. Yes. So that's There's a World. I would say that I think there's a reason that that song gets skipped over.
Yeah.
You know, like you said,
It's
Nick,
fine,
it just doesn't
you
feel
know.
like it belongs on the album.
Yeah, it's not a bad song. It's just kind of, I don't know.
If I want to listen to a musical, I'll listen to a musical.
Yeah.
Or if he wrote a full musical. Has Neil Young ever written a musical?
I don't think so.
It seems like something
I
he
think
would
he
do.
wrote Dear Evan Hansen. I'm sorry. So dumb. So dumb. I think he wrote Hamilton. So dumb.
yeah.
Yeah.
I am a bastard of a. I wish I actually knew lyrics to that song. To that play. I'd make such the best joke right now if I knew anything about that play. Man. This is the song that pissed off Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, dude.
This is Alabama.
Oh, okay.
It's also like the song that's most reminiscent of his like later work too. Like it sounds like Down by the River. It sounds like
Mhm.
This is kind of the, I would say, more transitional album because this came out in '72 and then On the Beach came out in '74, and that's
Okay.
more fully electric.
Yeah, Neil can rock. You know, you always
Oh,
forget
yeah.
about that. You know.
And it made a lot of people mad.
yeah. He also like jams like live. He
Oh, hell
jams
yeah.
out. So like
Yeah.
he'll take a song that like if he was playing Old Man, or maybe not Old Man, but like Down by the River or something like that. He jams it out for like 15
oh,
minutes.
they'll jam on
he
that
played
forever.
that with Fish actually.
Oh,
That's
hell
already
yeah.
a fucking 30-minute song too.
Exactly. Man, I was at a festival once, and it was him and Crazy Horse who were headlining one night. But I decided to go see Justice, which was still like fucking amazing. Yeah, my only chance to see Neil.
Oh, man.
But Justice was very worth it. Great music, great time.
Do you regret that decision, or would you still do
No.
that to this day?
Still do it.
Yeah.
Because Justice doesn't really even tour anymore, or really, very rarely make music. So, and that was awesome. They had this like light up cross on there, and like they like went back and forth between DJing and playing the piano. Like it was intense.
Huh, you know who else lights up crosses?
Me.
Well, I was thinking more like the people in Alabama the song is about.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, so it's
The song's about like racists in Alabama.
yeah, and that's
Nothing
exactly
planned
why
shit.
in Sweet Home Alabama it's literally like I have the lyrics. Like I heard Mr. Young sing about her. Heard old Neil put her down. Hope Neil Young will remember. Southern men don't need him around anyhow.
Yeah. And they're referencing Southern Man too, is, you know.
Yeah, they're referencing both of those songs.
Yeah.
And so, just quickly, just because it's the very first words of the song, pull up Walk On by Neil Young, because that's him basically, I'm pretty positive. There's like a lot of it, because he even says it was his own defensive criticism of Tonight's the Night and the seemingly endless flow of money coming my way from you people out there. So it's like a little bit of that, but it's also plus kind of a answer to... kind of people it's kind of just people talking shit in general, because there was quite a bit of them. Here,
All right, well,
it comes
take
right
a
on.
quick break into Walk On.
Oh, okay, Neil.
This almost sounds like a Grateful Dead song.
Yeah, it's like the first. It's like right here, the first beginning of this song.
I hear some people been talking me down. Bring up my name, pass it round. They
Ah,
don't
cool.
mention
So that's basically it.
Yeah.
It's just him being like, kind of just people talking shit in general.
You do your thing and I'll do mine.
Which is kind of like, I like shit like that, because it's also like the Money for Nothing song.
Oh, yeah?
That's a song, it's kind of argued where like a lot of people say, in Nikki Sixx's book, he says that song is about Motley Crue.
Oh, really?
Because it's like basically just like, so Motley Crue says it's about them, and that's kind of argued, but then it's also argued that it's about the dude from Dire Straits overhearing some people that were like installing something in his house, talking shit about him. Because in the song, either again,
More like
both,
Mark Knobgobbler.
yeah, both of it makes sense because it's like it could be about both, honestly, because it's like if you think about the song where it's like they're talking about Motley Crue, who is like big on like MTV and like very very publicized. So he's like, yeah, we got to sell more microwave ovens. We got to like basically saying that like their music only exists for commercials to play in between it, or just like be like in the same thing where he's like that ain't working. That's where he's just basically like saying that people like Motley Crue will switch up their style to just whatever is current.
Yeah,
and he's also like that little bad words got his own jet airplane. That little where he's like talking. He's like, yeah, buddy, that's his own hair. And he's just like shitting on it. I fucking love that song.
Nothing better than a good like diss track that just references just enough. Like I always love a diss track that is like comes right out and says it. You know, that's always good. But then when it's also kind of like subtle and you read into it, you're like, oh shit, he's like shitting on all these people.
Yeah, it's like that ain't working. That's the way you do it. Like just shitting on them and being like, just like his little earring with the earring and the makeup. Yeah, buddy, that's his own hair. So then the next one, this is what I was talking about, where this is the studio version of it, but if we go over to the Live at Massey Hall, Live at Massey Hall, and it's towards the end, and then we could just listen mainly to the start of it, because this is really cool, the Needle and Damage Done, it's 12 on there, where it's like he's talking in the beginning, and it's really dark, the way he's talking about right here.
Yeah, well, let's do it. This is Needle and Damage Done.
Talking about why he wrote this song.
Since I left Canada about 5 years ago or so, moved down south.
He sounds old.
Found out a lot of things that I didn't know when I left. Some of them are good and some of them are bad, you
know. He keeps going right here.
So
he starts the song and then stops.
Before they happened, you know, before they became famous, and, you know, when they were just gigging 5 and 6 sets a night, things like that.
When they were sitting out in the rain with Angel, waiting to go inside.
To see, for one reason or another. But strangely enough, the real good ones that you never got to see was because of heroin. And it started happening over and over. Then it happened to some that everybody knew about. So I just wrote a little song.
Dark, dude. This version of it's also very good.
So I just wrote a little song.
Yeah, you're just gonna, generalize it like that.
This is also in like a huge theater. Listen how fucking quiet it is.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering. I don't know where Massey Hall is, so I was wondering.
I feel like I feel bad that we're talking right now. Like I feel like we need to be quiet because it's so intimate right now.
I caught you knocking at my
Such a fucking deep song.
It's 2,800 people.
Oh yeah, just you hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
It's crazy that there's still like a heroin epidemic, you know, fucking 50 years later.
And this is cool too. We've never called an audible and like done a live version of a song rather than the album cut. So this is super cool.
It's good to see all that like stuff before too.
Yeah,
that's why I love that BBC version of where he's like talking through all the songs. And same that James Taylor, where there's this fucking super funny.
Yeah.
James Taylor's so fucking funny, dude.
I think that's another one of those guys that would be a total dick if you ever met him in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. My buddy gave me a Neil Young Live at the Roxy album. I can't remember what year it was. But during it, in between songs, Neil says on the mic, "The sooner you get drunk, the sooner we start sounding better." And then they just start like kicking to a song. I was like, "Fucking yeah!" He was on one that night. That's a good rowdy record.
If that ain't just like stand up. Just hoping people get drunk so that your jokes land. All right, we have reached the final track on this album. This is one of the ones. I mean, I think that he should have ended the album with "Needle and Damage Done." Like, it's such a powerful song that that ends the album like so perfectly. But maybe he was legally obligated to put a 10th song on there. This is Words Between the Lines of Age.
It's a 7-minute song too, so it's just
a jam.
Maybe it had to be a certain length.
Yeah. Or I think this was just a song that he liked to play. He was like, I have fun playing this song. I get to jam out and do whatever I want. I'm putting it on the goddamn album.
Yeah.
Neil Young has a really distinctive, like, guitar style too. Like, the way that he solos and plays guitar, he's very percussive and like plays along to the beat, almost like he plays bass on a guitar.
Yeah, totally. Especially on that song we keep referencing, "Down by the River," but just like I always love that opening of the solo, especially. It's just so good.
Yeah, very rarely are you gonna hear Neil Young solo that's like ripping, shredding, you know?
Yeah. No, like at least 3 strings are getting bent and plucked at the same time.
A lot of chunks.
Exactly.
Love it.
And it's so good too. It's so Neil.
And it builds. This song like builds so well too.
And I feel like most of his albums are quite short. Like it always just makes you want to like after we're done with this, I'm most likely gonna put on another Neil Young record because it's just like it's just like a little tasting. It's like a Cheeto. You can't have a couple Cheetos. You gotta have the whole bag.
The BBC video, the BBC thing on YouTube is
I might go. Yeah, I'll go
I've
check that out.
I've referenced it so much, which is also Rick. So I just sent you Rick on Facebook. I feel like I would be doing a disservice if we didn't see this. I just keep talking about how funny James Taylor's BBC is. So on Facebook, I just sent you this video where I just want to show you guys the beginning of James Taylor talking about this, because it's like, you know the song Steamroller? By James Taylor?
Okay.
It's like if he just talks about where that song comes from for like a minute or two on the Facebook thing right here, and it's literally just him like. The song is entirely just a troll.
While we played this 8-month-long gig at a place called
look how smacked he is on heroin.
Cafe in down in Greenwich Village in New York. It used to be.
He's just trolling these white kids who are trying to play blues.
I don't know.
Oh, really?
But anyhow, at that time there were a lot of so-called blues groups in New York City, you know, and they were making a lot of noise. They weren't very good. They were mostly white kids in from the suburbs with electric guitars and amplifiers that their parents had bought them for Christmas and their birthdays and stuff. And their idea of soul was volume. They just crank it up, you know. And they were singing all these heavy songs like "I'm a Man" or "I'm a Jackhammer" or "I'm a Steamship" or whatever. "I'm the Queen Mary" or "The Town of Bricks."
He's so funny.
They weren't to be left out of all
I
this,
could see it in his
Look at his
eyes.
eyes. Yeah, exactly, Nick.
Which is the heaviest blues tune I know, ladies and gentlemen. Called "I'm a Steamroller."
Easy, calm down there, James.
Yeah. And he goes, "We want to be left out of that, so I wrote this tune. It's the heaviest tune I know. It's called I'm a Steamroller,
baby.
He's literally just making fun of these kids.
I'm bound to roll all over you.
But it's so funny because he's like, I'm so much better than you guys
Exactly.
at this, that I can troll you and play a beautiful song.
Whoa. I'm bound to roll all over you.
There's a really funny part. It might be after the second chorus.
I'm gonna inject your soul with some
so funny,
sweet rock and roll now, and shoot you full of rhythm and blues now.
At least he's not like so fucked up that he can't play, you know?
Right,
no,
right.
I'm a
It's
cement
making
mixer,
him dirty.
a churning urn of burning funk.
This is
He's
about as high on heroin as you want to be.
Yeah, it's the perfect concoction. But it's like,
Yeah.
this song is so funny. He's literally just like, I'm a cement mixer.
For ya, baby. A churning urn of burning funk.
Right here. So watch this part where he goes into this little solo. Listen to him.
I'm a demolition derby, whoa now. A hefty hunk of steaming junk.
Right here.
Pick it, James.
Right here too.
Get on it, man. My. Look at those
It's because
magic
he's out of
fingers.
his body right now, watching himself, not realizing he's saying it out loud.
Boogie up and down them silver frets.
Look at them fingers
I don't know
boogieing
nothing
up
but
them
the blues.
silver frets. Dude, it is just so funny. It's just, he's literally just making fun of these kids he doesn't like. It would just be like one of us going on stage and be like, ooh, I'm an improviser. Look at me.
Exactly. I was thinking the
Zip,
same
zap,
thing.
zop.
Yeah, give me a scene. But he does it, and then it's like a number
But
one
Lynn doing
hit.
like an incredible job at it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it's just even better when he's
So fucking
talking shit and then he like backs it up by just slapping away.
It's so
Yeah.
fucking funny. Dude. I felt like
All I know is the blues.
All I know is with the blues.
So, listener, what you should do is I'm tempted to like tell people just to skip through that or like not put the audio in so they can just listen along with the video. I don't know. I'll put the audio in. You can just listen along with the video if you want to. That's your own thing.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
recommend the live at BBC Neil Young and James Taylor enough.
Yes.
Because
That's
on the
so
on the
funny.
surface, like James Taylor, just like it's very more than like Neil Young is more just kind of like mom and dad music, I guess.
Yeah.
But like especially after like those BBCs, I got really into James Taylor, and he fucking rocks. And he has a really good Rogan episode too.
Oh, really?
Where he's just like, it's old, but he's just like, yeah, he's talking about how he was doing heroin and he was doing this and doing that, and like. And so then you go see that video and you're like, oh, he's fucking smacked. Like these timetables line up perfectly.
This makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But that's the album, though. That was Harvest, plus some more.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Plus some.
A lot of first times for the Spin Doctors.
Yeah, definitely, man. Why don't you tell the people? I mean, first of all, thank you for sharing this album with
Yeah.
us. This is
Hey, dude, thank
awesome.
you guys. This was very fun.
Yeah, dude, thanks for being here.
I wanted to cover all grounds.
well, the grounds
Well,
are
we
covered.
hit them all, man. We got James
Yeah, it
Taylor,
really
we
is.
got Neil Young, and we snuck in Garth Brooks. So
That's true. The big three, that's my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. And then a smaller version of the Dixie Chicks where it's all three of them the size
Yeah.
of one.
Oh, God, but it's like a two-face situation, but with three faces, like completely thirds of each of their faces.
Yeah.
It's fucking monstrous. Why don't you tell the people where they can find you?
You know me, Bruce Gray on Instagram, Fat Jocks. Definitely Fat Jocks. If you like sports even a little bit, Fat Jocks is where it's at. It's pardon the interruption for people who say the R word. is what I've described it as.
That's almost as good of a motto as the one for Vancouver, where the people are normal and the rent is cheap. And thank you guys for listening. Couldn't do it without you. If you enjoy the show, we don't advertise, so tell your friends. Follow us on SpinDocPod at Instagram and Twitter. You can send us an email at spindoctorspod@gmail.com. Big thank you to Pale Blue Dot for our theme For You off of Kingdom, Phylum, Class, Order, Family, Genus, Species. Go get that album and go listen to Harvest and go watch that BBC video. What are you doing? This is the end of the show. As always, I've been Rick,
I've been Nick.
and we hope you enjoyed your medicine.